So we're gonna pause that. We'll open that in a new window. How are you already in here? Jesus Christ, I just started. At 2 a.m. I'm sorry. This is the only time that I get. Most of this, I'm gonna do a start with Unity3D, but I need to download the latest version of Unity. I'm 8 minutes late. So did it give you a notification that I was gonna start at 11? Because that's kind of what it's set up, but anyways, you were here 30 minutes ago. I have a lot to learn. I don't know how all of that works, but let's go ahead and at least get this stuff started. So, do you know anything about Unity3D? Because the personal version is free. You can use it for commercial products or self products. It doesn't matter. As long as you're not a corporation, as long as you don't make over $100,000 a year, something like that. I haven't read the documentation in a while, but you just go to unity3d.com and then you can easily download it from there. That's cool. I had no idea that it actually gave notifications of events that I was going to be starting. So I have a 64-bit computer, so we're just going to install the 64-bit. Unity documentation standard assets example project. You know what? We'll go ahead and grab it. I have an Android, so we'll grab that too. And we'll call that good. Download files to the temporary location. Sure. We'll just take the defaults. Yes, we will accept the terms of that. Upgraded to Windows 10 and it vanished, but it didn't bother you. I like Unity. So the project that I wanted to work on today was what I talked about yesterday, and we're probably just going to get the basic scene set up, and then I'm going to have to do some more research on how to actually get things to work. But the project that I want to at least start is a simple game where you throw a ball into a basket. So it was, the setting for the original project was inside a school hallway for whatever reason, and it had a basket at the end, and you would swipe your finger on the phone to throw it. We're going to ignore the phone at this point and just try to get something that works to where we have a ball that flies and we can have it dump into a basket, and that'll give us points that will show up on a scoreboard. Whether we do it in a hall or not, I'm not sure. We'll figure that out as we go, but beyond that, some things that I know that we're going to need are some simple boxes, because we're not going to do any texturing for right now. We're just going to build a very simple scene. We're going to try to get our basket set up. We'll need some triggers. We'll need some rigid bodies so it can interact with the physics engine. And then we'll need some basic code. But we're just going to try to get the scene set up. But I haven't used Unity in a good 6 months at least. So it's going to be a learning curve for me once this actually gets installed. I was going to do more with the layout. I don't know if I'm going to change it to where I use the Steam games layout. I don't know if this screen right here, if you can see that. I don't know if you can. You should be able to. I don't know if this screen right here will be big enough for your guys' viewing, but I would like your chat to be able to show up in the window, but I haven't fixed that just yet. I haven't fixed the chat just yet. I've seen a couple things that might get me what I want, but I haven't played around with it just yet. So I didn't want to use that overlay just yet. But it needs to be big enough so you guys can read the text. I could probably change the size of the text on the thing. And the only reason why I didn't pre-install this is because I wanted to at least get a portion of this, since this is called the beginnings. Just waiting. I mean, since it is called the beginnings, I wanted to at least get a portion of how you get Unity installed. I mean, it's not an official tutorial video, but you basically just go to Unity3D, you download the package, and you install it. Right now it's installing Visual Community for C++. That should be like mono develop and our coding applications that we can write in. I did not see Carl's stream. I don't watch I watch Carl's videos on YouTube. I don't watch his streams. At least I've never seen his streams. What did he do today? I know on his last video he was playing some puzzles from Ben. I've set my thing up so I can display both my monitors with a click of a button, so I can come over here, you can see your chat, and this is my second monitor that I'm looking at. What download your quality settings? I was going to ask that. What actually are you able to see my stream at? Because I have it set up for 720 if I have it set up correctly, so you should be able to go up to 720. I could probably push 1080, but I don't know if my internet would keep up with that. I haven't tried. Oh no. CPU is taking kilobits. Drop frames 239. I'm also trying recording at the same time, so that might be part of my issues, because I haven't dropped frames before, but now it's saying I've dropped 239. Are you able to read this text on screen okay? Sounding choppy. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to. I guess I could. Coding overload. Consider turning down something. I dropped 239 frames. It's probably because I'm also trying to record at the same time. We're going to stick with it for just right a second while this finishes up, and then if we still have issues, I'll turn that off. Alright, so you're at least able to see the text. That's good. Yeah, it very well could be. I might be pushing my CPU too hard. I'm not doing anything extra with it just yet, but one thing I don't like about OBS is that a lot of these scenes and sources, like while I'm talking, I can come over here and I can show you. On a lot of these, actually, I'll bring it over to the main screen. On a lot of these scenes and sources, ignore the infinity. I can't actually copy something over. So if I was on like the Steam game source, I can't copy the stream alerts over to Unity3D. I have this one set up how I like it, but I just want to put it in this scene, but I can't. At least that I've seen that there's a way for me to copy this so I can paste it in this source. I have to create a whole new one. I don't like that. Yes, I am definitely installing on the same disk that I recorded on, so that could also be causing some CPU issues. We can look at what the CPU is doing. it's at 40%. It's definitely working. 2200 threads. Yeah. From what I know about operating systems, this isn't a horrible system. I mean, it does have the 4 cores, 3.4 gigahertz on its speed, so that's at least a good, decent speed. But we'll just let it do its thing. Usually the chat box area is filled in with a different shade of black, so you're talking about here. When I click Steam Game, you can see this overlay, right? And it is. This black actually right here is like for the game display. That's the default Unity OBS black in the background. I wanted a different color so it stood out from that. My whole setup is stock. I bought it this way, so anything it has or doesn't have, the only thing I've added to it was the Elgato. I should have probably done this on my own time, but that's okay. I have been playing a lot of the Weapon Shop Fantasy. I've kind of figured that game out, but it's gotten boring, unfortunately. And it's the same thing over and over and over again. So, but it was fun for the time. I thought my kids would enjoy it, but they need to do a lot of reading and they can't read. So I'll find something else to play. This doesn't tell me what's considered turning due. Well, we can figure something out to do. Let me just for a second. This, so here's my Steam. I wanted to find my wish list. So I don't know anything about any of these games, but these are the ones that I put on. I've seen a lot of people play The Binding of Isaac. I've seen a lot of people. I haven't actually seen a lot of people play Undertale, but I've heard a lot about it. I don't know anything about it. But do any of these games look interesting to you that you would like to enjoy when you play, or at least play with me? Oh, so you can actually move them up and down. Like a drifter. I don't know what this one is. Explore a beautiful and vast world riddled with dangers and lost technologies. Winner IGF 2017. Teen Excellence in Visual Art and Audience Award 1 year anniversary. I am beyond Drifter. I don't get to play a lot of these types of games. I don't get to play a lot of games at all. So this streaming hobby is really my way of getting to play and do stuff that I don't really get to do or have time to do. So that is one reason why I want to continue with it. Where are we at with this? Are we done? Are we done? So the tutorials that Unity has is really, really great. I've watched a lot of tutorials back in the past. So rollerball, space shooter, I mean, we can go through and build these tutorials if you want. We can do that too. I can watch them and then I can recreate them. Or we can do something different with them, but they've got C# scripting. But let's go ahead and open up Unity and see what we can figure out. Unity 5.6, Unity. Okay, I don't know what that is, but let's. You'll have to explain to me what you're showing me. Is that how much you have put into Steam? I don't even know where you got this from. 511 games owned? Jesus Christ. 11,000 hours? That is quite amazing. Still sounding choppy. I don't know what choppy means. Let me see if I can listen to myself. How do I fix that? So before I fix that, alright, so we've muted that. Let's see if that helps. I'm gonna assume not, because I see that thing bouncing up and down. Like, alright, let's try that. So let's see if that helps fix things. If not, we will try something else. I'm just listening to myself right now to try to fix that, because you shouldn't have to listen to the choppiness. Awesome. You are currently not signed in. Some option. Alright, so the choppiness is gone. Okay. Let me try to input some of this stuff, but I'm going to take this away from your view for a second. let's go ahead and create one. I should have done this beforehand. You know what? I think I already have an account. I think we can turn this back on for right this second. So I've logged into my account and it's going through and asking me some basic questions. So the company or organization earned more? No. I don't use Unity in a professional capacity. Sure. I am in the United States. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Go with that. And that. Sure. That. And okay. Okay. I'm going to close all of that and I'm just going to try to reopen it now that we've gotten past the licensing stuff, because I just want to start with a blank. Unity. Awesome. Oh, I guess I can click new. We'll just leave that there. I don't know where it's going to save, but we'll just go with that. We'll fix all that later if we can. And you're probably talking to me and I can't see it. Yeah, I think it has to do with the voice meter program that I was using. I don't think I'm going to use that anymore. I think that, I mean, it was something I was trying. I don't think it does anything to help me out. Oh, your stream account? I was just basking in your amazing glory of how much stuff that you have on Steam. It says something like 511 games. I don't know how you got to the calculator, but yeah, that is a lot of effort into there. What do you know about Visual Studio? Come on, open. But again, my goal for tonight is just to get my environment set up. And then I will do some research tomorrow on how to actually program some of this stuff, so I'm not doing all of that online. Wow, that's new. I don't know what Humble Bundles are. New Unity project services. This is all new to me. That's awesome. The very first game that I ever got on Steam was actually given to me by the Selonium as a gift. That was Curse and Chaos. That is a decent game. I will probably play that eventually. But anyways, I don't know what any of this stuff over here on the right is. this is all brand new to me, so we will just go with that. But let's go ahead and at least try to build some of our scenes. So 3D object, cube. I mean, I guess we could do a plane. So let's do a plane. Okay, there is that. How do we rotate it? Rotate. How do we rotate it to 90? So holding down the control key snaps it into place. Where did it go? There. Why is it black? Where is my... Okay. So from what I remember about Unity, if you haven't used it, I mean you have used it before, but you haven't used it in a while. Over here on the left hand side are objects that we've created. Down here is where all our scripts will be. It's our folders and structure. And then over here is the inspector where all of our properties for that object exist. So if I want to make this plane bigger on the x-axis, it should grow that direction. So let's go ahead and get this at world coordinate 0. So I know where the heck it is. I don't know how to get myself to 0 very easily, but and then we'll just push it to the right, and then we will bring it up to 5. Now I don't understand why this is black. Display 1, no cameras rendering. Alright, so game object, camera. That's not looking at what I want it to look at. Let's turn it that way. And it is black. From what I remember back in the day, this automatically was blue. I don't like that it's black. So let's get rid of that. Create a 3D object cube, and that's black. It's almost like I don't have something set up correctly, but that's okay. So we'll just push this. Where is 0, 0, 0? There is 0, 0, 0. Go away. So we'll bring this over here, we'll squish it down, we'll scale it up, and we'll pull it out. And then we'll push it, where's my mouse? This way. We'll pull it up, and then we'll duplicate it, and we'll pull that over there. Push this one that way a little bit more. And I'll try to figure out why they're black at a later time. So I'm using the W key to W, E, and R key to change between the scale options. And this is a move. That is also something similar to Maya and Autodesk 3ds, which I used a long time ago, back in 2010. I don't understand why these are black. Maybe because I don't have a light in the scene? Nope, still black. Interesting. Let's get a directional light at least. Light. Directional light. Okay. I hope you aren't serious. I don't know what you're serious about. Skype console program. Oh, this is what you do in Visual Studio? That's cool. So are you actually programming something for use in Skype? Unity is just a better blender. I would agree with that statement. Because SQLite database file and dump the file into HTML, stripping special segments, etc. Essentially making it easier to share chat conversations from specific group chats. That's really cool. That is really, really cool. Alright, we'll go with that. Now, what other objects do I have? Capsule, cylinder, sphere. There's no torus or anything like that. I'm looking for an easy circular object that I guess I can make into like a trash can shape. Because the cylinder's not going to do it for me. It kind of would. That's not what I want. I was hoping in there was like a donut. I'm surprised there's not like a torus shape. So what are we going to use instead for right now? How do I zoom in on this? Yeah, that's what I want. That's not what I want. I thought there was a way to circle around the selected object. Oh well. So these have a capsule collider on them. A mesh renderer so we can see it. That is to transform. Well, we'll just change it up. We'll make it into a target game. So you throw a ball and you try to hit little targets at the back. So we'll rotate this to 90. And then we'll push it back. Just gonna get rid of that. There. Alright, so that is a start. We'll figure out a billboard. Let's go ahead and put a player object in here. Everything wants to default to that direction, and I've kind of turned everything. Everything wants to default this direction. Like if I put a cube in, even that defaulted to that direction. So can I turn all of this stuff at the same time? I can. Awesome. Just put them over there. Let's grab these two things and we'll turn them 90 degrees. Alright. What did you have a conversation about? I don't know what WebSockets is, so you're teaching me something. I will adamantly admit that web programming and anything to do with web design is not my strong suit. I don't know much about PHP. I have seen XML. I have done a little HTML, but working with and designing websites is not something I am great at. Alright. We gotta change the directional light. So we need an object to throw, so we will create an object to throw. And that will just be, no, not a cube. That'll be a simple sphere. I know there is an easier way to place objects in the scene. I know that there is. Game. So now we should have a sphere in front of our face, which we do. Bring that down into the right. Alright, so that'll be our starting position, and then we'll just click. And I'm thinking the longer that we click, the harder the ball will be thrown. So if we just click once, it'll just kind of drop to the floor and roll. If we hold for like 2 seconds, it'll go in a nicer arc. At least that's what I'm picturing in my head. Let's go ahead and clean up some of this really quick. Wall. Ball. That's fine. This actually should be a... What the hell is that? I'm trying to remember what the term that they use is without looking it up. It should be a... it's the pre-created object package, prefab. So we shouldn't actually have all of these extra ones, because we'll just set up one and then we'll create the rest as prefabs. Rename target. Alright, so you're explaining to me something. WebSockets is part of HTML5. Okay. It is considered the up and coming replacement for the XHTML based Ajax jQuery implementation, which is asynchronous JavaScript and XML implementation. So WebSockets is the next thing that's going to replace those things. Okay. Good example of what jQuery built upon Ajax and Ajax do is fairly similar to a live chat with the front end. It's possible that this chat is built on WebSockets using HTML5. When you say this chat, you mean the YouTube chat, okay? The browser through HTML5 to communicate with the backend and allow for the server to communicate freely at its own pace, rather than have the client keep checking constantly, okay? Yeah, it seems like it's giving you a greater amount of control over what you want to have happen. being able to the server to communicate constantly with yourself when it's ready to do so. I can see where that's beneficial. Because I mean, relating that back to programming terms, I can request something from the memory, and I can constantly, like on an operating system, I can request something in memory. And that's all you know. Yeah. But you can request, like, say your CPU requests a file from memory, it's got to wait for that hard disk to actually process that and bring it over into the caches and the internal memory so the CPU can have access to it. Now there's two ways that can be done. Is the CPU can constantly check and say, hey, are you done uploading yet? Or it can put itself into an event, and that event would tell the CPU, hey, I'm done, and then it'll work on it. That goes back to the threads and things. So it sounds like it's very similar to that. I know my explanation was horrible, but that's okay. Alright. I'm actually going to stop right here for right this second, because I need to do more research. I know what I want to do. I want to throw this ball and hit that target. I know I need some scripting, but obviously a lot has changed in Unity 5.6 that I am not familiar with. So I at least want to get watch some user interface tutorial stuff and continue on from there. I mean, I know I need a rigid body down here on this to throw it, but yeah, I need to do a little bit more research, and I have found that out myself here. Ajax standardly works by pulling a CGI, PHP, or dynamic server backend page, which means it has to re-render that page over and over again, and the data that returns, including everything in it. So basically what you're saying is it has to keep doing the same things over and over again because it can't check to see if something's ready. Is that a correct understanding? And that sounds like what WebSockets is fixing as well. What is this? I don't know what this button does. Component, add mesh, physical. So when we play, we should see our ball and nothing should happen. Now I do know that if we put a rigid body on the target, that's good. If we put a rigid body on the target, physics, rigid body, now when we hit play, I know that'll fall. There it goes. If we change it to not use gravity, it should stay. I know kinematics should be used for objects that aren't going to move in your scene, and I don't believe that this object is going to move, so we could set that to is kinematic because I just want the ball to hit the target and then it'll disappear or something. So we'll do that. This ball probably won't appear until you click and hold. It would be nice if we had like a little gauge meter that would go up and down. I don't know how to do that, but if you were in game mode and this ball wasn't here, but you click and held and you pointed kind of to where you wanted to throw it, and you had a little gauge meter going up and down, when you let go, the ball could appear and start its flight and its journey with the amount of energy that you gave it. So I think that's what we'll try to do next time. We'll try to throw that ball at the target, but I want to get some user interface stuff down because, again, I don't know why this is black. I thought they used to default to blue, So yeah, we'll figure all that out. For your problem, question 30. How to throw a ball to a specific point on a plane. Alright, let me bring this over here so you can see what you sent me. Alright, so how to throw a ball to a specific point on a plane. I'm trying to have a catapult-like mechanism for shooting a ball at a specific point. Okay. I want it to end up there. For now, I'm using rigid body.add force, new vector 3, 10, 15, 20 times thrust. Should have called that velocity or acceleration, but whatever. Alright. Ballistic launcher test. So it is grabbing the public game object. So that is down here. So we are going to add a C# script. We'll call this ball launch. Alright, so Visual Studio. This is another thing that I have a lot of trouble with. I have a lot of trouble actually naming my objects. And I was going to do the same thing. I was just going to look up the tutorials and stuff on here, but we'll just work through it as we can. While that's loading, we'll read some more of this. Alright, so public transform target. So this is the actual target at the other end. What this is doing, this is going to create a option for me to drag objects in the inspector. So void start, throw ball at target location, target.position. So this target specifically is referencing that at 10, and the F is signifying that it is a decimal value if I'm not mistaken. Throws ball at location with regards to gravity, assuming no obstacles in path. Alright. So the vector 3 target location, float, initial velocity. Oh, so the F is signifying a float, so that is a decimal value. I think I go away, Adobe. Resharper. Okay, I used resharper. I want this to go there, and I want this to go there. Come on. I want this to go there. We'll make this smaller, so okay, can I use it still? Sure. I could not. Alright, well, I'll work out those kinks. Because I know it's like 3 a.m. where you are. So, I'm going to call it there. I'm going to do some research. I thank you for this. I'll save this and I'll read through. And we'll get this ball flying in the next one. But, as always, Aona, I appreciate you coming out and hanging out with me. That's at least funner, but I know this wasn't very well put together, but I just wanted to start, because if I didn't start, then I'm never gonna start, and it's just gonna, I was like, well, I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and I don't get to it, and then I'm like, well, I'll do it Monday, and then Monday comes and I don't get to it. So I at least wanted to start and get something going, so I have something going. Now, as a question to you, do you care about the web camera on screen, or do you not care? Was it fine just looking at the screen? I guess if I was better at what I was doing, it would be okay, but what do you prefer? Do you want the webcam on? Do you not want the webcam on? Do you want to do the Discord voice chat? We could try to set that up. So it's really all depending on what you want to do. That's true. And I think once we actually get into the programming, things will be at least a little bit more entertaining. Because all of this initial setup, well, it didn't take all that long. And it'll only get better and faster with time. Because I honestly haven't used Unity in like 6 months to a year. I haven't touched it, I haven't played with it, I haven't done anything. That's fine. And we'll leave it off. We'll save that screen real estate for other stuff. Because I agree. I don't think it's really needed for this. When I'm watching a tutorial video, I kind of like to have it on there, but I think we'll just save that screen real estate, at least for this. Alright, well, I'll figure all of this out, but I appreciate you hanging out with me. I am going to go for the night. I'm going to get some sleep, and then we have some other stuff that we have to do in the morning, and then I will probably try to pick this back up tomorrow. Alright, but for now, I'm going to go. I need some kind of Yeah, I agree. We'll play around. Maybe if I had like a green screen in the back, it wouldn't be so bad, rather than seeing. But yeah. But for now, I am going to go. I am waiting for when you have a stream so I can watch your stream, but I never get notified of one, or you haven't been doing one, or I don't know. But okay. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.